Mogul skiers. Once again, the men are in action in the Dual Moguls, the side-by-side battle that is Dual Moguls in this, the final event of the World Junior Championships. A little earlier today, we saw the women in action in their final. A great victory for the US teams. Kylie Kariotis. And here we got Aoki Senda versus Thomas Dooley. Senda of Japan. Dooley on the red course, right of camera now, skiing for Ireland. And Dooley just trailing the Japanese athlete here at the moment. Doesn't quite have the speed of the Japanese competitor, who does have quite a bit of World Cup experience. But great to see Ireland being represented here at the Freestyle Junior World Championships. That is Aoki Senda of Japan, who came down on the blue course there, versus Thomas Dooley of Ireland. And I think Dooley perhaps skied out of the course there, so received a DNF. It did not finish classification on that run, I believe. All the points going to Senda as he progresses through to the next round. We're in the elimination stages here, of course, of this competition. The winner of each of these pairings moving on to the next round, through to the eighth finals, the quarterfinals, the semis, and eventually that final at the end of the day, the ski off for the gold medal. Carl Worm of Sweden meets Anton Vertigauer Forn of Spain. We saw Forn yesterday in the finals of the single format competition. There he is on the blue course, but he's out of the fall line, struggling there. He'll be deducted a lot of points for that. And now he is out of the course altogether. But his opponent is also in trouble, so it's still wide open. Although he manages to stay on the course. Carl Worm of Sweden veered right out of the fall line, out of the course, but got back in before he rounded that gate. So Worm, I think, should be given a score for that, whereas Forn of Spain will probably receive a DNF, as we saw just a moment ago from Thomas Dooley of Ireland on that last run. Nice popped up back layout somersault from Worm of Sweden. The Swedish men's mogul team in great form this season. Now, we are up with Switzerland versus Switzerland, I believe, for this next heat. I think it's Joel Gianella versus Anaya Buzi. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment on the graphic. Yeah, yes, it is Switzerland versus Switzerland. Buzi skiing on the red course, his teammate Gianella on the blue. Oh, and problems for both of the Swiss athletes as they crash out. Crashing out there in virtual perfect synchronization. So a little bit of a tricky situation for the the Swiss athletes there. They both started well enough, but crack out in synchro on that. They both managed to get their second jumps in, but a bit of carnage at the halfway point there, and who knows what the judges are going to make of that one. We'll leave that one up to them to decide. It's a little bit of a little bit of a mess, but both of them, despite those crashes, there back on their feet, not sustaining any injuries, thankfully. As the two Swiss skiers, Joel Gianella and Enia Buzi, just wait a few moments for the judges to untangle that one. Well, it looks like the scores are coming through on my graphic, because they're 20 points to Gianella and 15 to Boozy. So they both received a score. They both crashed, but they recovered. They finished the course. Neither of them got a DNF. Neither of them skied out of the course, but it is Gianella in the end who made the lesser of the mistakes, I suppose you'd say. So he goes through. Camden Lewis to ski on the blue course. Philip Zvlenany of the Czech Republic on the red course. And the Czech skier is already out after landing that first jump, a full twisting back somersault. Didn't connect properly on landing. Couldn't re-engage with the bumps on the midsection. Veers out of the course, leaving the way clear for the UST skier Camden Lewis there. Bib number 43. Fairly clear decision for the judges on that one then. Lewis will go through. Veleny of the Czech Republic going back to the drawing board on that one. We are at the World Junior Freestyle Championships. So back up top then. Who have we got next? This is Vitt Veleny versus Ellis Moberg of Sweden. Veleny on the blue course. Moberg on the red. Moberg, part of a big freestyle family in Sweden, opening up with the Cork 7 up top, and the two skiers on immediately adjacent four lines as they come down. But it's the Swede that has the advantage by 2 or 3 skis lengths now as they approach that second jump. He's going well. Moberg does have quite a lot of World Cup experience. Pops up a nice big backflip. Veleny, the Czech Republic skier, lesser experienced and trailing the Swede by some distance as they cross the line, but it was a brave effort from him against some pretty tough opposition in the form of Ellis Moberg. The Swedish man in great form this season there, the backflip, iron cross, nice air time, a good pop on takeoff, and a Cork 7 from the Czech. And it is with 24 points to 11, Moberg who progresses through to the next round. Now one of the Korean skiers we saw, Dae-yoon Jung, yesterday, skiing brilliantly in the single format, taking the silver medal. His countryman, Yin Suk Kim, is in action now here on the blue course, nearest to camera. Against, left of camera now as we look up the hill. Marek Gajdeka of the Czech Republic, struggling a little bit on that midsection, veered out of the fall line. He's recovered well, but the Korean is way ahead, but he goes over the front of the tips of the skis on landing at the second jump. And just when he thought he had that one in the bag, he comes a cropper in the bottom section of the course, going over the tips of the skis. Oh dear. Gajdeka of the Czech Republic. Let's take a look back. This is the Korean. We don't quite get to see the crash. He actually landed the jump and then caught an edge a couple of meters after landing. Ended up face planting in that bottom section of the course. Looks like he might have winded himself a little bit. Hope he's okay. I think he is. Although who knows which way this is going to go, because Gajdeka did veer off the course, so he'll lose a lot of points from the turn judges for that. But he did recover and he finished the course, finished ahead of the Korean, who initially at the halfway point had been miles in front. So a complete reversal of fortunes in the very bottom of the course there for these two. And once again, a little bit of a conundrum for the judges. I wonder which way they're going to go. Both of these athletes making quite big errors in that run. And it could go either way. So the judges taking their time over this one, scratching their heads a little bit, I suspect. As once again, they've got a tricky decision to unpick here in the duels. We saw it a couple of runs ago with the two Swiss athletes who crashed out in virtual perfect synchronization. They managed to unpick that one quite nicely, did the judges, but they seem to be struggling a little more with this pairing. Yin Suk Kim, the Korean athlete, looks like he is going to be exiting the competition following that crash out in the bottom section of the course. That's desperately disappointing for him. Only looking at my graphic here, 9 points to him. 26 points going to Gajdeka from the Czech Republic. He is through, and it's a good day for him so far. So he hangs on to his position in the competition despite those mistakes. And how unfortunate for Kim of Korea, who was dominating that heat, only to crash out just before the line. Next up, Matthias Krupa of the Czech Republic versus Matthias Ronkainen for Finland. Whoa, and already mistakes on the red course. Once again, that was Ronkainen of Finland. Ronkainen, again from and he's out again, so the way is clear for Krupa of the Czech Republic. All he has to do is get a clean finish to this run, which is what he does, and a much easier decision this time for the judges, with 2 or 3 big mistakes being made by the Finn, Ronkainen. He started well. On paper, Ronkainen the better of the two athletes, but receiving a DNF, a did not finish classification on that run for exiting the course, not once, but twice. So pushing a little too hard. Some of these athletes here at the World Junior Championships are still in the process of gaining valuable experience on the world stage. Many of them don't have World Cup experience as yet. Some do, but nonetheless, these youngsters still gathering valuable world stage experience today here in Chiesa-Valmalenco in Italy at the World Junior Championships. On course now, Takuma Okada on the blue course, left of camera, skiing really well on the midsection, as is his opponent, Noé Lamiel of France. Lamiel, the slower of the two, and Okada of Japan is ripping down this course, goes huge on the second air, just about holds onto the control. He almost went over the back there on landing that back somersault, and that was an absolute blistering performance by Takuma Okada of Japan. Superb stuff. He destroyed the Frenchman. It was good skiing from the Frenchman, no question about it, but the speed, and look at the compression on that second jump. He went huge. He's way down the hill, or halfway down to the finish line on that one. That was an emphatic start to the elimination rounds for the Japanese men there, thanks to Takuma Okada. Really laying down the standard for this men's dual mogul final, the last day of action here at the Junior World Championships. And no real question there that 30 points to 5 sees Okada progress through to the next round. Korea back in action again now. Hyun-gun Ham versus Germany's Louis Magnus Thiel. Thiel on the red course, right of camera. We've seen a lot of mistakes on this red course today, although this time it is the blue course that goes wrong. Ham of Korea just carrying a little too much speed perhaps on that midsection to be able to maintain the rhythm of those bumps. Thiel of Germany plays it cool. Well, Ham crosses the line first, but I suspect, despite that speed advantage, it may well be the German who progresses here because of those mistakes on that midsection from Ham. He was in all sorts of trouble. Ham does get a great cork 7 in on the second jump, but so does the German. So, and a great landing from the German too. So some good airs from the German, some good turns. I wouldn't be surprised if this decision doesn't go in the favor of the German, despite the fact that Ham crossed the line first. It is in fact at 22 points to 13. Thiel of Germany, who books his place in the next round. His countryman in action now, Xaver Lanks of Germany on the blue course versus Maxim Yemelyanov of Kazakhstan. We have seen the Kazakh skiers in the women's competition, thanks to Anastasia Gorodko, who won the single format yesterday. We know the Kazakh team are doing well, but it is the blue course, Xaver Lanks of Germany, who goes wrong in the midsection, and so does the Kazakh skier. Gets himself back onto the course just in time to get that second jump in. He possibly didn't realize that his opponent had gone out a little higher up the course there, and he didn't need to take so many risks. He could have taken his foot off the gas there. In actual fact, the mistakes came, but he did manage to get this quite big second jump in. There goes Lanks, sorry, in a bit of trouble on the second jump, but 35 points going the way of the Kazakh skier, Yemelyanov. Now, yesterday's gold medalist in the single format for skiing for Great Britain, Matteo Janison, meets Aoki Senda of Japan. Aoki Senda has the skills, but Janison is on form this week in Valmalenko. Janison on the red course. Yesterday's gold medalist, the World Junior single mogul champion, opens up well on the first jump with that unusual, that unique grab that he does, and mistakes come from the Japanese athlete on the blue course. Janison just holds it steady, getting the rhythm of the midsection just right, launches up into a nice big backflip. Now the Japanese skier has come past across the line ahead of Janison, but that was good competition skiing from Matteo. Matt Janison there, I think he probably knew mistakes had been made by the Japanese athlete, and he just locked into his rhythm, held it steady. He got a nice big jump in on the second air. They both put the same backflip iron cross. The Japanese skier over compressing on landing. He crosses the line about a ski's length ahead of the Brit, but I think the decision will probably go the way of yesterday's gold medalist, Matt Janison. And it does. 26 points to him, 9 points to Aoki Senda. Janison, yesterday's gold medalist, is through to the next round. Okay, Kazakhstan in action again. Semyon Ruzakov meets Kaisei Ozaza of Japan. Ozaza getting the better start. The Kazakh athlete not landing from his first jump properly. He's made a good recovery on the red course as Ruzakov, but the judges, of course, won't have missed those mistakes on landing. Struggling to match the speed of Ozaza, the Japanese athlete. Both athletes finish the course on their feet, but Ozaza it is who is out in front. So we know that Janison of Great Britain is through, and now an easy decision really, I think, for the judges. It will be Ozaza who progresses from this round.
Ozaza is through the 8th final. And now Verbader on the red course, Carl Verme on the blue course.
So the skiers at the moment looking for a place in the 8th finals. Janison and Ozaza are through. Let's see what happens as Carl Verme meets Oliver Verdigauer Fawn. Sweden versus Spain. Fawn on the red course, going well, ahead of the Swede. We saw some good things from Fawn, the Spanish skier, yesterday in the single format competition. but he was unlucky ultimately, skiing a lot better today as he crosses the line well ahead of Carl Werm of Sweden. And some good skiing. Great to see Spain represented in these World Junior Freestyle Championships today. A massive backflip iron cross and well ahead of the Swede. And that should be an easy decision for the judges. And it is 22 points to 13. Fawn for Spain is through. He's through to the 8th finals. So those 8th finals will feature 16 skiers, of course, 2 in each of those rounds, looking for a place in the quarterfinals. So we're still trying to establish the next 8th finalists. So far, we've got Jennison, Sender, Azaza, and Ruzakov. Fawn is through. This next pairing, Switzerland versus Canada, Joel Gianella for Switzerland. Quinn Dawson of Canada, who we saw make the super final in the singles yesterday, but crashed out in that round, finishing up in 6th place. He's got another chance today. He's a great skier. He's on the blue course, left of camera now. Mistakes coming from the Swiss skier, Gianella, and the way is clear for Dawson. He just needs to lock in, not take too many risks. He may or may not know that his opponent is out. But either way, he locks in and finishes a good run here in Valmalenko, and he will be progressing through to those 8th finals. Where he will ski against Spain's Vertigau Fawn, who we saw in that last round. So Ikel Fujimura of Japan meets Camden Lewis of the US team. Lewis on the blue course, Fujimura for Japan on red. Japanese skiers at this Freestyle World Championships, particularly in the Moguls, have been in very, very good form. And there is on the red course Fujimura for Japan, but he's being given a good race now by Camden Lewis of the US. Lewis in good form this week as well. He's just ahead of the Japanese athlete as they hit the second jump. They both land clean. The American is just ahead of the Japanese athlete as they cross the line, so not much to separate them in terms of speed. A slight advantage for Lewis. Both of them getting huge airs on the second jump. And that'll be quite a close decision. Let's take a look at that second jump. Lewis just ahead as they both pop up into big backflip somersaults with an iron cross of the skis. Both landing exactly in synchronization. Could go either way, I think, this one. I think it's going to be down to turns to separate the two. Who had the better of the turns in the view of the judges, because speed and air were pretty evenly matched, and it's 20 points to 15. Fujimura for Japan has the advantage. He goes through to the next round. France meets Sweden in this next ski-off. Antoine 10 for France on the red course. Jakob Hansen Mathisen of Sweden on the blue course. And the Swedish team have been quite a big story in Moguls these last couple of seasons. Oh dear, mistakes there from the French athlete on the red course, struggling to match the rhythm. Crashes into one of the gates and he is out of the competition. The way clear for Hansen Mathisen of Sweden as he claims that one and will progress through to the next round. All 35 points going towards the Swede as he books his place in that next round. Yes, the Swedish freestyle team, the Swedish Mogul team particularly, are getting things very right this year, as they have done the last couple of seasons. They do, of course, boast the current men's Olympic champion, Walter Wahlberg. But they've got a great team in the men's competition, as we've seen on World Cup this year. And good to see some of these young skiers, like Hansen Mathisen there, coming through at the World Junior Championships this week, following in the footsteps of those Swedish greats, keeping Mogul skiing in fine form up in Sweden. Jean-Christophe Bougie for Canada. Denis Rastruba of Kazakhstan. Bougie for Canada, right of camera on the red course. Rastruba for Kazakhstan on the blue. I've not seen either of these two athletes ski before. Great to see some new names coming through. It's what you'd expect at the World Junior Championships. It's a good start for the Kazakh left of camera there, but he's making mistakes, getting thrown around by the bumps on that midsection. It's a better run ultimately from Bougie, the Canadian. He just hits the rhythm properly on that midsection, letting the legs do all the work. Rastruba on the blue course did eventually settle, but I think it was Bougie who had the advantage there. He certainly crossed the line ahead of the Kazakh skier, but it's not just about speed. The judges, obviously the clock measures the speed, but the judges have to decide who had the best turn technique, and the air judges need to decide who had the best jumps. And I think for my money, if I was in the judging panel, I'd be going the way of Bougie, the Canadian. And that is what they do. 22 points to 13. Jean-Christophe Bougie books his place in the next round. Ellis Moberg meets Charlie Michael. Moberg for Sweden on the red course. Michael of the USA on the blue course. Moberg, we know, is in good form, part of that strong Swedish team. And they're both choosing lines that put them immediately adjacent to each other. And the mistake is forced by Charlie Michael. He makes, he holds on that blue course. Moberg skiing out of the line and out of the course. They were really evenly matched, and that was proper dual mogul racing there. They were right side by side. They could see each other perfectly in their peripheral vision. Hammering down that midsection, only a matter of about a meter apart, side by side, and the mistake being forced. Moberg not matching the rhythm of Michael, and it is Michael who gets all 35 points and books his place in the next round. Let's see how his teammate Asher Mitchell gets on. Mitchell had a good day yesterday in the single format competition. He skied away with the the bronze medal, I should say, yesterday. The bronze medal in that single format competition yesterday. So we know that he is on form. We know that he likes this course. Motivation running high in the US team. Asher on the red course. Marek Gajdeka of the Czech Republic, left of camera now on the blue. And brilliant skiing from the American. Look at him go on the red course, right of camera. He's really nailing that rhythm of the midsection. Perfect mogul skiing on the midsection. Sucks up the takeoff on the second jump. Dials the landing, crosses the line. Makes it look easy. Great skiing from Asher Mitchell, yesterday's bronze medalist. Part of a great US team this season. The American women in the World Cup have been doing fantastically well. The American men have had some great moments too. And great to see some youngsters like Asher Mitchell coming through to follow in those footsteps of that World Cup team. And with skiing like that, he could be very competitive at World Cup level. So an emphatic win there for the American over Gajdeka of the Czech Republic. As we go back up top, Kazakhstan versus Sweden. Fyodor Bugakov on the red course for Kazakhstan. Gordon Berg for Sweden on the blue course. There's a deviation on the red course there from Bugakov. He's recovered well, but I think he might have deviated from his original fall line, which means, but there are problems from the Swede. The Swede was going very well. Gordon Berg was looking good, but he didn't manage to hold on to that run of form. He was looking really good on the midsection, but he just lost his rhythm on approach to the jump, and he had to take a bail on that one. Jamming the anchors on. as Bugakov flies past him in midair to take the win. So Bugakov through, 35 points going his way. France versus Canada in the next pairing. Paul-André Gay meets Jeremy Sauvagieux of Canada. Sauvagieux on the blue course. Gay on the red. The Canadian already about a ski's length ahead as they hit the first jump on that blue course. Sauvagieux going well. The Frenchman, Gay, struggling to match the pace, but ultimately it's the Canadian that goes out. And so does Gay, the Frenchman. All sorts of things happening here at the World Juniors. This is the nature of dual mogul skiing. It's an unpredictable event when you pitch these skiers side by side and they push each other ever further. Both of those opponents making mistakes on that course. And again, a little bit of a tricky one for the judges to unpick, although I do think that the Frenchman, Paul-André Gay, may have skied out of the course. He certainly decided not to take the check. Yes, he does ski out of the course. Skis out of the course in midair, off to the left of the course markers there. So he'll get a DNF classification for that run, as Sauvagieux of Canada, despite those mistakes, breathes a bit of a sigh of relief and moves on to the next round. Matthias Krupa of the Czech Republic meets Paolo Pasquarella of Switzerland. A lot of Czech skiers in this junior competition today. Great to see them, an emerging nation in moguls. Paolo Pasquarella for Switzerland on the blue course. Left of camera mistakes though from Krupa. Can he recover on the red course? He's struggling to maintain that pace and rhythm on the midsection. He manages to recover, but look at the distance that has been opened up by the Swiss skier Pasquarella. Pasquarella crossing that line way ahead of Krupa. So they both started well, but the mistakes came on the midsection from the Czech skier. He made a good recovery, but look at the distance opened up by the Swiss athlete, Paolo Pasquarella. Should be a pretty easy decision for the judges. Yes, it is. 26 points to 9. Pasquarella progresses. Porter Huff for the US on the red course meets Takuma Okada of Japan on the blue. Huff was in good form yesterday, a super finalist in the single format competition, but there he is on the red course, struggling to match the pace of the Japanese skier. But is he going too fast? Yes, he is. Crashes out, just carrying too much speed on that midsection, crashing out before the second jump. And just as Porter Huff dropped out the back there, he decided for Takuma Okada to make the mistakes. Okada, the Japanese athlete, just pushing way too hard for speed on that midsection. Speed, of course, is an important aspect of this course, but if you go too fast, well, you see what happens. It's a difficult balance to strike. There goes Porter Huff, yesterday's 5th place finisher. Hucking some big air on that second jump, claiming 35 points to progress through to the next round. A lot of Americans making it through to that next round today. As we move on to the next pairing of Leo Crozet of France versus Korea's Yoon Sung Lee. Crozet on the red course, Lee on the blue. This is the penultimate pairing in this round of 32 before we move on to the 8th final. Oh. Sorry, this is Cole Carey versus Louis Magnus Thiel of Germany. Cole, the American, on the blue course, the better of the two. TL of Germany crashing out on that red course at the midway point. Excuse me, I got ahead of myself there, announcing the wrong pairing, but that was Louis Magnus TL of Germany crashing out on the red course as another American, Cole Carey, stamps his authority on that heat and books a place in the next round. So 2 more runs in this round to establish who it will be that goes into that last 8th final, which is the next round. Will it be France's Leo Crozet or Korea's Yoon-sung Lee? Crozet on the red course, Lee on the blue. And it is Lee who gets the better of the starts, but the worst of the landings. Didn't manage to reconnect with the rhythm of those midsection bumps, goes over the tips of his skis and crashes out. Leo Crozet going for a sort of round the corner Lincoln loop type maneuver on that second jump. A kind of side flip, really. Popular amongst some of the French skiers over the years. Let's take a look at that one. Well, I don't know. Is it a Lincoln loop? Is it sideways or is it just off axis? I'm not sure, but either way, he is the man who will progress through to that next round. All 35 points going his way as a consequence of that face plant from Lee just after landing on that first jump. So, the last pairing now, Maxim Yemelyanov of Kazakhstan meets Daeyoon Jung of Korea. Jung, perhaps the most experienced of the skiers in this competition for the men today. He finished in second place yesterday in the single format. He won all the way through and then just got pipped in the super final by Matt Janison of Britain. But Jung is a brilliant skier who carries a lot of World Cup experience with him, and already we can see he's way ahead. Check out his technique, left of camera on the blue course now. Beautiful turns, beautiful rhythm on the midsection. A little mistake there, but a super fast recovery. And Jung of Korea pretty much destroying his opponent, Maxim Yemelyanov of Kazakhstan there. Yemelyanov, some good skiing from him, but really Jung on a different level. And Jung certainly will be a contender for a final berth and a podium finish today. Like I say, he was a bit disappointed to be denied the gold medal yesterday, having to settle for second place. And I think he will be trying to prove a point today. I wonder whether we will see a final ski-off between yesterday's gold medalist and Jung, the silver medalist, yesterday's gold medalist, Matt Janison, who just denied the Korean the win at the last minute. And I think this should be Janison in action now on the blue course. I believe it is, as we move into the next round. 16 men remaining only in the competition. 8 of them will progress from this round through to the quarterfinals. Matt Janison, I believe, is lining up on that blue course there. Yesterday's gold medalist from Great Britain. We've seen him a couple of times at World Cup. He's starting to make a big name for himself. And yesterday, claiming the World Junior Single Format title will, of course, help that reputation. Here he goes on the blue course. Matt Janison meets Kasei Ozaza of Japan. Janison gets a great start. Ozaza virtually straight lining out that first jump. He can't match the speed, but there are mistakes from the Brit as well. So it's all still wide open, but the Japanese athlete was all over the place as he came into that second jump. So although he crosses the line ahead of Janison, I think the judges will probably go the way of Janison on that one. Exciting heat there as we move into this next round of the competition. So Janison there just holding on and managing to control himself. As Ozaza, the Japanese athlete, by the very seat of his pants there, manages to stay on his skis as he crosses the line. And 20 points to Janison, to 15 for Ozaza. Janison through to the quarterfinals with the chance, hopefully, of another medal today here at day 2 of the mogul skiing action in Varmolenko. Next up, Oliver Vertigau Fawn for Spain versus Quinn Dawson of Canada. Dawson was unlucky in the super final yesterday, crashing out, finishing up in 6th place. And here he goes on the red course. But Oliver Vertigau Fawn has been making a bit of a name for himself this week in Varmolenko. He's ahead of the Canadian at the midpoint. Both athletes making a couple of mistakes, and over the front goes the Canadian. Just on approach to that second jump, over the tips of the skis, burying his head into the bumps. Hopefully he will be okay. Both athletes pushing each other faster and faster as they approach that second jump. And it was the Canadian who took the hit. Hopefully he'll be okay. Massive backflip iron cross from the Spanish skier on the blue course there. No real question, though, that it will be him that progresses through to the next round, where he will meet Matteo Janison in quarterfinal number 1. And it looks like Dawson, the Canadian, is back up on his feet and he's okay despite that crash. So, Jakob Hansen Mathisen versus Ikai Fujimura. The next pairing. Fujimura for Japan. Hansen Mathisen goes out on the red course early on. We've seen a lot of athletes crash out on landing from that red course jump number 1. The way clear on the blue course for the Japanese athlete, Fujimura, as the action really starts to hot up here in Varmolenko. So Fujimura looks back up the course to see what has happened to Jakob Hansen Mathisen. Hopefully he's okay. It's pretty clear to see that it is Mathisen who will exit the competition at this stage. And there he is. He makes it back down. He's back on his feet, looking okay after that crash. Fujimura through to the quarters. Jean-Christophe Bougie versus Charlie Miquel of Canada. Miquel of the US, sorry, on the red course now, right of camera. Bougie for Canada, going a little bit too fast, struggling to control his speed. He can't match the speed of the American, and out he goes. Another crash here in Varmolenko, as Charlie Miquel manages to hit the rhythm, maintain the speed, and cross the line ahead as he books his place in the quarters. 33 points to 2. Bougie sliding out. As Miquel progresses. Asher Mitchell versus Fyodor Bugakov. Mitchell for the US, Bugakov for Kazakhstan. Mitchell, yesterday's bronze medalist in the single format, and on great form here on day 2 of the mogul action. A real name to watch for the future is Asher Mitchell. There he is, left of camera now on the blue course, going well. He's got that rhythm once again on the midsection. Hardly making a mistake. Bugakov put up a strong performance Crossed the line just behind him. Great skiing from both athletes there. For once, neither of the pairing crashing out. That's the first clean run we've seen for a few runs. But Asher, I think, the better of the two on balance. He was a little bit faster, but his turns on the midsection were super clean as well. 21 points to 14. The decision comes through. Asher Mitchell is through to the quarters. Jeremy Savageau for Canada meets Paolo Pasquarella of Switzerland. The Canadian on the blue course. The Swiss athlete Pasquarella on the red. Okay, and already on the red course and the blue course. Once again, in Valmalenko, the action is coming at us thick and fast today. All sorts of carnage at the World Junior Championships. Pasquarello crashed out just after landing on the red course. He made a superb recovery, although he did take out one of the gates in the process. Flipped over the front in some kind of forward roll, back onto his skis to finish the run. And just after he'd done that, his opponent, Savageau, on the blue course crashed out. So I don't know which way this one's going to go. I suspect Pasquarella may get a DNF. He may receive no score because he actually took out one of those gates. I'm not sure how the judges will view that. So even though he crossed the line and Savageau didn't, I don't know. Did Savageau manage to keep himself on the course there? So another tricky heat to unpick for the judges here at the World Junior Championships in Valmalenko. And Pasquarello, despite the fact that he crossed the line first, I think will receive a DNF, a did not finish classification for that run because he hit a gate, took it out, and I think that will mean that he was considered to have exited the course. So Savageau, despite the fact, yes, 35 points to Savageau, he progresses despite crashing out himself, manages to book himself a place in the quarters. Next up, Porterhoff of the USA on the blue course against Canadian Cole Carey on the red. Here we go then. It's a good start for the Canadian. Both athletes getting the cork 7 up top. Both athletes looking like they're very evenly matched. Great skiers, these two. There's a mistake on the blue course from Porter. He's trailing the Canadian a little bit as well. Well, it's pretty close. They're only about half a ski's length apart as they cross the line. Enjoying that. Making the distance without crashing out. We've seen quite a few crashes today at these World Juniors. It's an exciting competition, Dual Moguls, and a great example of Dual Mogul competition today here in Valmalenko on this last day of competition action at the World Junior Freestyle Championship. So I think on balance there, Carey probably had the better run. There was a little mistake at the midway point from Porterhoff of the US. And it looks like, yes, 21 points going to Cole Carey, 14 to Porterhoff. It is Carey who books his place in the next round. This then, the final round of this, the final pairing of this round. Leo Crozet of France meets Daeyoon Young of Korea. Now, Young was denied the gold medal yesterday, had to settle for second place. He'll be desperate to get himself through to the final today. I don't know whether we'll get to see a final that will pitch him against Britain's Matt Janison. That would be a grudge match. But Young carries a lot of experience. He's on the red course, right of camera now, skiing brilliantly on that midsection. Look at his rhythm. Look at his pace. A mistake though from the Korean. Can he hold on to the speed? Just about. He almost made a mistake there. There was a little wobble, and that seals the fate as Leo Crozet, who put up a great competition run there. He really was pushing the Korean all the way. And Young, carrying way more experience than the young Frenchman into this competition. But Crozet pushed Young all the way and almost forced a mistake from him. Ultimately, Young using that experience, though, to make the recovery just ahead of that second jump. And unfortunately, Crozet crashing out in the last couple of meters of the course. So that means that Young's hopes of getting through to the final remain alive. Like I say, he was the silver medalist yesterday. Can he get himself up onto the podium in a higher position today? This man, Matt Janison, on the red course, could be the man that goes through to meet Young in that final, and that would be something. That would be a great competition to see in this final, a real grudge match, but Janison needs to get through this round. This is quarterfinal number 1. Matt Janison for Great Britain on the red course against a real new name, Oliver Vertigar Fawn for Spain on the blue course. And Fawn is having a great week here at the World Juniors, but he'll be hard pushed to meet to get ahead of yesterday's winner, Matt Janison, on the red course. But he does just that. Oliver Vertigar Fawn is quite the skier this week, pushing Janison all the way to the line, and in fact getting ahead of Janison on that in the finish area there, only by a little bit. So this one's going to go down to turns, I think. Could go either way, but Janison gets the nod. 20-15. Janison goes through to the semis. Ikai Fujimura of Japan meets Charlie Mickle of the USA. Mickle, part of the strong American contingent, just missed out on the super final yesterday. Missed that top 6, finished in 8th place, but he's on form, as are many of the Americans here in Valmoleno. Now then, he's on the blue course. Left of camera is Mickle. Fujimura of Japan on the red. These two pretty evenly matched. The Japanese skier has the advantage. Crosses the line, a ski's length or two ahead of the American. So an advantage to the Japanese athlete. Ike Fujimura there on speed. Let's take a look at their second jumps. Backflip iron cross from both skiers. Landing, both putting in good shows of top-end mogul skiing as well. So a tough call for the judges on that one. It was Fujimura who had the speed advantage. That could swing it for him. It doesn't always, but when they're pretty evenly matched on turns and air, as they were in that run, then the clincher could be the speed. And it was in this case, as Fujimura goes through to the next round. 21 points to 14. Asher Mitchell for the US meets Jeremy Savageau of Canada. We saw Savageau crash out in that last round, but still make it through to the quarterfinals, because his opponent crashed out worse. But he's up against Asher Mitchell of the US team. Mitchell going on the red course. Yesterday's bronze medalist, let's not forget. Mitchell, a man very much in form at these World Juniors. And Savageau for Canada on the blue course will have a tough job on his hands. And he'll be looking to push Mitchell into making a mistake. I think that is perhaps going to be the tactic. Savageau will just want to sit with him, try and match the speed of the American. Hopefully just sit there, in his opinion, sit there and force a mistake from Mitchell. But like I say, Mitchell for the US is in great form this week. And so far, we haven't seen him make too many mistakes. He was the bronze medalist yesterday, and he was looking great in the last round. So Asher Mitchell for the US goes on the red course. Jeremy Savageau for Canada on the blue. Looking for a place here in the semi-finals. Only one will go through. So they're off. Mitchell on the red course for Canada. Savageau on the blue for... Sorry, Mitchell for the US on the red course, I should say. Right at camera. Here he goes. Look at him on the midsection. Perfect timing as the Canadian goes out on the midsection. But Mitchell's made a mistake too. He needs to recover. The Canadian will see this and see his opportunity. But Mitchell does indeed make a quick recovery. Now that is... I was just saying, we haven't seen him make many mistakes this week. That was pretty much the only time. And nervous moments there for the US team as Mitchell almost threw away what looked like a shoe into the next round. The Canadian had already crashed out, but just after he'd crashed out, so did Mitchell. The Canadian, looking from above, will have seen that, tried to seize the opportunity, but Mitchell made the recovery quick enough to get the nod. Savageau, as it turns out, skied out of the course in that crash, so receives no score. As Mitchell, yesterday's bronze medalist, books himself a place in the semis. Next up, Cole Carey of Canada on the red course meets Dae-Yoon Young of Korea on the blue. Now, Young is desperate to get through to this final. He wants the gold medal today. He was denied it yesterday, having to settle for silver, and he's going on the blue course now. He's an absolutely brilliant skier, and he is desperate for that gold medal here on the last day at the Junior Worlds. But will he push himself too hard? On the red course, it's Cole Carey of Canada. He's the one that makes the mistake. But so does Yoon as well. This could still go either way. It's wide open. Yoon recovers well, stays inside the course, gets his second jump in. So both athletes, I think, just about staying inside the course. Both athletes certainly finishing their second jumps and crossing the line on their skis. But again, things wide open there at the midway point. Young was looking so good. I was just worried that he might push it just that little bit too hard in his desperation to get himself the win today. Just as I was saying that, he made a mistake. But he breathes a sigh of relief now. He's done enough. 20 points to 15. Young's hopes of that gold medal stay alive as he books himself a place in the semis. So that wraps up the quarterfinals. The athletes making their way back up top now for the semis. 4 athletes only remaining in this, the closing moments of what has been a fantastic week of freestyle skiing here in Valmalenko at the Junior World Championships for 2024, an event that rounds off the season for the freestyle skiers worldwide. A great season it has been. And a great week of competition action from the juniors. It has been as well here in Chiesa Valmalenko. It's the 9th time that this town has hosted the World Junior Freestyle Championships. Up here in beautiful conditions in Lombardy, not far off the Swiss border. With only 4 athletes remaining now in this Junior Freestyle World Championships. We're down to the men's semi-finals. Matt Janison, yesterday's gold medalist, will meet Ikai Fujimura of Japan in semi number 1. And Asher Mitchell of the US team meets Dae-Yoon Young of Korea in semi number 2. Janison, the winner yesterday. Young, the Korean, the silver medalist. I wonder whether we'll get to see those two ski it off for the gold medal today. That's certainly what Young has in mind. He won the all of the rounds yesterday in the progressions through the single format competition only to finish second when it really counted in the super final. And I think he was a little bit put out by that, as Matt Janison came from behind to steal that World Junior title away from the Korean. And Dae-Yoon Young, who will ski in semi-final number 2 against Asher Mitchell of the US, is desperate to get himself through to that final to have another crack at Matt Janison in the duels today and try and get his hands on that gold medal. So just a few minutes away before we conclude the World Junior Championships here in Chiesa Valmalenco, Italy. It's been a great week. Thursday saw the aerials competition. Yesterday, the single format moguls, and today the duels to conclude a brilliant week of skiing here in Italy for the 2024 Junior World Freestyle Championships. 4 athletes only remaining as we reach the conclusion of a brilliant week of freestyle skiing and a brilliant season for the freestylers. So the men's semi-finals about to run. The winner of each of these semi-final rounds will progress to the final. The ski-off for gold, the last gold medal up for grabs at the World Junior Championships. So we saw the women's competition a little earlier on today, a competition that was won by the US teams, Kylie Kariotis. She is the World Junior Championship champion for 2024 in the dual mogul competition. Who will it be in the men's competition then? Let's take a look. Here we go for semi-final number 1. Yesterday's gold medalist on the blue course, Matt Janison of Great Britain, left of camera. Skis against Ike Fujimura of Japan on the red course. Now, Janison, if he wants to make it double gold, has got to win this. He needs to get through this semi-final to get into that final. A double gold here for Janison would be a fantastic result. We've seen some great promise from him over the last season or two. He's really starting to make a name for himself now on the World Cup circuit as well. He's been a little bit of an unknown quantity, but we're starting to realize that he is a formidable mogul skier. He's on the blue course against Ike Fujimura on the red course of Japan. So, Matt Janison, can he make it double gold in... oh, he's made a mistake. He goes out, loses out of the fall line. He stays on the course. He's in the back seat. Can he recover? Well, he's ahead of the Japanese athlete, but he'll be docked some serious turn points for that. Matt Janison on the blue course, just pushing that little bit too hard, and that is unfortunate. Now, what will happen? He crossed the line ahead of the Japanese skier, but that big deviation from the fall line. The judges are at the bottom of the hill looking up, and they want to see the mogul skiers coming straight down the course towards them. And that massive deviation from the fall line just after landing on that first jump, he got the second one in okay, crossed the line in the lead, but that big deviation on that at the top of the midsection means that Jameson is out of the finals. He will have to settle for a place in the consolation round. Bronze medal, the best he can hope for now today then. As Ike Fujimura books his place in the final. And who will he ski against? Will it be Asher Mitchell, who lines up on the blue course, or will it be Dae-Yoon Young, who lines up on the red? Mitchell for the USA, Young for Korea. Young, yesterday's silver medalist, desperately wants to leave Varmolenko with a gold medal in his possession, but he's got to get through this round if he's going to have a chance of doing that. So Dae-Yoon Young then on the red course, Asher Mitchell on the blue. Oh, and Mitchell goes out on landing from the first jump. The way is clear for Dae-Yoon Young. All he needs to do now is lock in, not take any risks. He needs to finish this. He's still flying down that midsection. He perhaps doesn't realize that the American has gone out. Anyway, he is pumped, he is psyched up, and he will have just booked himself a place in the final today. So he was denied the gold medal yesterday, but he has a chance of claiming the gold medal today. He still has to win that final, of course, to do that, but at least he's got a chance. Massive backflip iron cross, finishing off that run for Korea's Dae-Yoon Young. And Mitchell, who hasn't really put an edge wrong yesterday or today, crashing out just after landing of that first jump. So that means that Mitchell will go on to meet Matt Jameson in the small final, as they call it. That's the consolation final, the ski off, the competition for the bronze medal today. Matt Jameson versus Asher Mitchell will be skiing to claim to win that bronze medal, and the gold medal ski off will be between Ike Fujimura of Japan and Dae-Yoon Young of Korea. That race coming in just a few moments. The skiers, of course, we've just seen them race. They need to get in those semi-finals. They need to get themselves back up to the top of the course, which is what they're doing now. Trying to get their themselves composed, get their breath back for the conclusion of the competition, the conclusion of the Junior Freestyle World Championships, in fact, here in Chiesa Valmalenko. So just a few moments then for the skiers to get themselves back to the top of the hill, and it'll be that small final that will be skied first. Asher Mitchell, who we've just seen crashing out on that semi, has got to get himself back together, get himself back to the top of the course, and then ski again for that bronze medal against yesterday's gold medalist, Matt Jameson. So we'll just take a few minutes to allow the skiers to get back to the top of the course for the conclusion of this Junior World Freestyle Championships in Valmalenko. Exciting stuff. So you join us just in the final rounds now of the Junior Freestyle World Championships. We are in the beautiful Lombardy region of northern Italy. We're about 100 kilometers north of Milan, sitting on the Swiss border here. Just the other side of the border is the Engadine Valley. But we are in the Valmalenco Valley here on the Italian side of the border in Chiesa Valmalenco. The World Junior Freestyle Championships, and the 9th time that this beautiful valley has hosted these Junior World Championships. We've got 4 athletes only remaining in the competition to conclude the championships this week. As we look to the men's finals, just about to be concluded. They've just run the semi-finals. The athletes are getting themselves back up to the top of the hill. 2 races only remaining now in this championship. The dual moguls at the Freestyle World Junior Championships. Side-by-side action on the bumps course. It's a course that hosted the World Cup Tour final just a couple of weeks ago with the dual mogul competition. But this weekend, it is the turn of the juniors, the under-20s. And a great week of competition action it has been. We've seen freestyle aerials. We've seen single format moguls. And today, it is the side-by-side dual competition. We've already seen Kylie Kariotis of the USA claim the win and the World Junior title in the women's dual competition. And in the next few moments, we will be seeing what happens in the men's competition. We've got Ikai Fujimura of Japan to ski off against Dae-yoon Jung of Korea for the title, the gold medal and the title in the men's competition. But before they take to the snow, it'll be Matt Janison of Great Britain versus Asher Mitchell of the USA as they ski off for the bronze medal. Here it is, the small final, the conclusion of the World Junior Freestyle Championships. Matt Janison on the red course in the all in white. Yesterday's gold medalist, the World Junior single format champion. He's been denied that today. Best he can hope for is the bronze medal, and it'll be the winner of this heat who gets onto the podium with that bronze medal right now. Asher Mitchell of the USA skis on the blue course. Mitchell is having a great week, but he started making mistakes in the last round. And Mitchell has gone out again in exactly the same place as he did on the last round. Just doesn't connect with the bumps on the midsection. So he does a body check on landing from that first jump. So the way should be clear for the Brit, Matt Janison, to claim another medal here in Valmalenco. It was a great recovery from the American Asher Mitchell after that crash up top. But of course, the points that he will be deducted for that butt check up top after the first jump mean that it will be Janison who is given a place on the podium. Yesterday, he was on top of the podium. Today, he'll be on there again, but a little bit lower down in 3rd place. But 2 medals in 2 days for Great Britain's Matt Janison here at the World Junior Championships. It's been a good weekend for him. Who will it be, though, that claims the title of World Junior Dual Mogul Champion? Will it be Ike Fujimura, who skis now on the red course, or will it be Dae-yoon Jung of Korea, who skis on the blue? Japan versus Korea. Dae-yoon Jung was denied the gold medal yesterday. He had to settle for 2nd place behind Matt Janison, and he's desperate to leave Italy with a gold medal in his possession. The next 20 or so seconds will decide that. Jung goes on the blue course. He's a brilliant skier, but he'll be pushed all the way by Fujimura of Japan, and already the Japanese athlete on the red course is ahead, but he's carrying too much speed. He makes a mistake. And another one, but so does the Korean. He takes out a gate and misses the 2nd jump, and that is a real unfortunate turn of events for Dae-yoon Jung. Wow, that competition really did go to the wire there. It was looking like it was Fujimura of Japan who was the man that was going to make the mistakes. He was hanging on by the seat of his ski pants for the majority of that run, but hang on he did. And as he hung on, it was the mistakes that came lower down in the run from Dae-Yoon Young that resulted in him missing that second jump. And once again, that means that he will be denied a gold medal, as he was yesterday. It's still a pretty good week for him, though. Second place yesterday, second place today. And I'll wait for confirmation of that. But it looks very much like Ike Fujimura will be the man who claims the World Junior Freestyle Dual Moguls title. So Fujimura, yes, he gets 35 points. It's a DNF, a did not finish classification for Dae-Yoon Young. Once again, he'll have to settle for silver medal today. Not a bad week. 2 silver medals in 2 days at the World Freestyle Junior Championships. And Matt Janison there for Great Britain, yesterday's gold medalist, will be pretty satisfied, I think, with a bronze medal today. A great week for him also. But the champion is Ike Fujimura on the dual course. The last winner of this week at the Freestyle Junior World Championships. We may get a chance to hear a few words from the new Freestyle Junior Dual Mogul champion at the bottom of the hill, and that exciting race concluding a brilliant week of freestyle skiing here in Chiesa Valmalenco in Lombardy, Italy. The 9th edition of the Junior World Championships that's been hosted here in this beautiful part of Italy. And a great week of skiing it has been. Difficult conditions for the organisers. A week or 2 ago, there was an awful lot of snow, and with that came some high winds that meant that some of the competition courses pretty much had to be rebuilt from scratch. But they worked hard to get that to happen. And this week, the weather has turned out great. Some superb freestyle skiing action this week at the 2024 Freestyle Junior World Championships. And we've had a great time bringing you the action here on FIS.tv. So confirmation then that the winner of today's men's competition is Ike Fujimura of Japan, the new Freestyle Junior World Champion. Dae-Yoon Young finishes in second place, as he did yesterday in those singles. And yesterday's winner, Matt Janison, will be happy with a bronze medal today, I feel sure. Asher Mitchell of the USA, who's had a brilliant week of skiing. It just came unstuck a little bit for him on those last couple of heats. And he finishes up today in 4th place. He did get himself a medal yesterday, though. He was the bronze medalist in the single format yesterday, was Mitchell, Asher Mitchell. So, again, not a bad weekend of skiing here in Valmalenco for him. And if you're still with us here on FIS.tv, I'd like to thank you for joining us today and this week for the Freestyle Junior World Championships, brought to you by the International Ski Federation. And my name is Richard Cobbing. I have enjoyed Valmalenco now. If you stick with us, we may get some coverage of the prize giving ceremony at the bottom of the Moguls Hill. The event commentator will take you through that, but for now, my name is Richard Cobbing. Thank you for joining us. It has been a great freestyle season and a great week at the Freestyle Junior World Championships in Valmalenco. Thank you for being with us today. And I hope to see you with us again next winter. Goodbye from Valmalenko.
Taguchi. Pronti? Ok. Siamo pronti per la cerimonia di premiazione dal Dual Moguls per i mondiali juniores FIS di freestyle 2024. And now we are starting the awards ceremony for the Dual Moguls event competition valid for the 2024 FIS Freestyle Junior World Championship. Bene, al terzo posto, in third place, medaglia di bronzo, the winner of the bronze medal per il Giappone, representing Japan, Yuma Taguchi. Premia Mr. John Buller, Head Judge Chief of Competition. Karin Arnold, FIS Race Director. E ora in seconda posizione, in second place, medaglia d'argento, the winner of the bronze medal per il Kazakistan, representing Kazakhstan, Anastasia Gorodko. E ora al primo posto, and now in first place, medaglia d'oro, the winner of the gold medal, la nuova campionessa del mondo junior di Dual Moguls, the new world champion in Dual Moguls per gli Stati Uniti d'America, representing United States of America, Kylie Kariotis. E ora passiamo alla premiazione maschile The Man. Scusa, I'm sorry. In honor of the new world champion in the Dual Moguls, the national anthem of the USA. And now we are starting the award ceremony for the men dual moguls event. Al terzo posto, in third place, medaglia di bronzo, the winner of the bronze medal per la Gran Bretagna, representing Great Britain, Mr. Matteo Jensen. The medal will be awarded by Mr. Luke Colley, FIS Technical Delegate. La medaglia verrà consegnata dal Mr. Luke Colley, delegato tecnico della FIS, e poi anche, come al solito, dal FIS Race Director Karin Arnold, qui presente. In seconda posizione, in second place, medaglia d'argento, the winner of the silver medal per la Corea del Sud, representing South Korea, Daejeon Jung. And now the first place, al primo posto, medaglia d'oro, the winner of the gold medal, il nuovo campione del mondo junior di dual moguls, the new junior world champion in dual moguls, per il Giappone, representing Japan, Ikei Fujimura. Ed ora, in onore anche del nuovo campione del mondo juniores di dual moguls, l'inno nazionale del Giappone. And now, in honor of the new junior world champion in dual moguls, the national anthem of Japan. A big applause for Ikei Fujimura, the new junior world champion of the dual moguls. Bene, siamo giunti alla fine, è tutto per quest'anno, speriamo di rivederci e risentirci anche l'anno prossimo. Grazie a tutti per essere stati qui con noi, spero vi siate divertiti. Well, that's all folks, thank you all for being with us, see you next year.